Yeah, it's got an hour and 30. Oh, no, 130 minutes. That's more than an hour and 30, isn't it?
Yes.
It's 2 hours and 10.
130 minutes is 2 hours and 10.
That's what I just said.
Oh, look at you go.
Hi, guys. We are back in Melbourne.
In beautiful, sunny Melbourne. It's top temperature. I don't know what it's for here. Where I live, the top temperature was 6 degrees.
Today, top's 10.
10.
Yesterday was also 10, but it felt like 5. No, yesterday was 11, feels like 5.
Outside was supposed to be like, if you're close to the coast, I reckon outside was like, feels like 2 because of the wind.
As you can see by my lovely attire, my blanket.
Yes, we left London in a heat wave and got back to the winter we try and skip every year.
Yes, and now we're back bang smack in the middle of it. But that's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right. Not too long. We've got to see out the rest of it.
I'm back now, and because it's cold, Gidgets just wants to cuddle me all day.
So do my cats.
Yeah, but my wife and Jared, they're not interested.
So my cats don't leave me alone. But yes, we're back. We tried to do a podcast when we were back in the UK, but we were just a wee bit burnt out from...
We tried, but when I looked at it, it was just like we're
just dead.
And I think over that, it's very hard when we're travelling and the amount of hours we do and it's non-stop, it just slowly catches up.
Yeah, because people...
It just end up being whingy bitches anyway.
Well, because people don't realise that we do... So there's 7 days in a week, and then we've got 3 of those days a workshop, and then we've got 2 travel days. That's 5. That's only 2 days for us to do shoots, podcasts, and editing and admin.
And creating...
So it's just really... And that's why we turn into whingy bastards.
Whingy bastards.
But we're home now. I've had 17 hours of sleep on the first day. I got home and Jared was at work, but while I was away, he bought nice new bedspread and nice new sheets, and he left the heater on for me, and the bed was on.
So why did he buy that? Did he play up on you and stained them all? No. Isn't that a thing? You just...
I don't know. He just bought new sheets and new bedding for us. So I had nice new fluffy bedding with the heater left on for me and the bed all made. I got home and just jumped straight in there.
Of course you did.
I had a shower and then I jumped straight in there. I lie.
Oh yeah, I did. I had like 20-minute showers. It's so stupid. There's just little things. My bed was just to die for. Yes. The shower was what the shower want. And the first night home, I cooked myself a steak, and it was just, it's gone. It was just so nice. I don't know, as you get older, it gets harder and harder to get out of your little box that you want to live in. So
I can understand that. I have
that's all right.
My little box I like to live in.
Your little box.
Yes.
So the backdrop today is we
beat
just...
me to it.
All right, you go.
You go.
We just finished recording something for YouTube, just showing you what we travel with, and it's when I look around and look at the size of, like you're only seeing, you're seeing like maybe a half of what's behind us. But it's a bit hard, but yeah, it's 4 suitcases, a couple of carry-ons, and 4 lots of carry-ons, 4 suitcases, and we just laid out all the shit that we travel with, and it's sort of like. When I was unpacking it, I was going, so what didn't I use? And it was
like 3 things.
There's a few little things, or things that don't take up much weight or take up much room. And so I'm sort of going, well, I could have used them if I had a commercial job to do in a shitty Airbnb with bad light. The umbrellas was something I could definitely use. It's easier than setting up the Octa. But no, that's not going to save much though. It's lucky if the 2 umbrellas, they take up no room. Yeah, but it's going to save us like under a kilo, so it's not really...
But things like Profoto heads and Octaboxes and monitors and cameras and tripods, all the bulky things, we need all of that.
Well, I was going to cut down a couple of the cameras. I'm glad I didn't, because with the Hasselblad dying...
Yeah.
I really needed. But I need the Sony on the first day, so we can get Leica to tether because remember Leica
Yeah, I know.
crashing Lightroom.
And that was so lucky that you did have the Sony.
Yeah,
so I remember you were tossing up bringing it or not.
That would have.
You would have been up shit creek without a paddle.
Paddles. Yes, I even broke my paddles. We broke lots of stuff.
I know. The Octobox got broken. So one of the suitcases got broken.
The Octobox is easy. I had a look when I was setting it up today. Nearly every point around the Octobox is about to break through. So I'm just going to sew a strip right around that edge.
Right. One of the suitcases broke.
Oh, and my wheel went on mine. That's something I have to do is we're gonna go in. You should see how many stickers and shit we got on our bags. They're gonna go, we're not covering that. Look how much this has been used. I think every one of our cases has got a problem, so I've got to get that fixed.
Yeah. We can do that. We've got some time.
Yeah, we can do it.
What else got broke? Oh, one of the, what are they called, speed rings for the Pro Photo? Remember the latchy thing broke on that, the metal part? You know where like it attaches to the thing goes to the thing?
The thing goes to the thing.
The thing that's attached to the Octobox. It's got a speed ring, isn't it?
No, yeah, that's not broken.
There's the little claspy part. Remember we went one day and the metal-y part had come loose?
No. They're all set up. They're all fine.
I think you fixed it, but it was broken at one point. It was broken at one point.
Now you make me worry. I don't have them as a broken thing.
And you fixed it.
I fixed it.
The metal was sticking out and you put it back together.
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it's fixed. I don't have to worry anymore.
What else broke? Our brains.
I got bit broke. That little nipple off one of the little brass adapter, that broke.
What nipple, you pervert?
It's just, so everyone will know there's a little spigot thing that has two different threads on it, and they're normally round, and you put them into stands and you put your lights on them. When they're round, you can't tighten your lights on, they spin. Oh. So most studios have round ones. I have two, they've got flats on them so I can always lock them in. But a little nipple broke off one of them, so it's fine for that, but if I want to use it to screw into something, there's no end to screw on it. Oh. Everyone out there has got no idea what I'm talking about.
You just said everyone does.
Well, maybe. Could be wrong. But I don't know, I've done a bit of an autopsy on the trip, and I've decided to sack back. No. Oh, she's worried.
What are you going to do about America? Flight's in my name.
I'm going to do it solo.
But the flight's in my name.
I can cancel your flight. I get the money back less $600. That's all right. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.
You can just lay grim in bed. No, it was more on... So we do tend to get quite a few repeat people. Mm. So I don't know, the feedback has changed a lot since I've pushed a certain line, and I think that line's going to get pushed harder. And that's a line of getting everyone to be individuals and creating, and getting back to creating, get them to understand light, but then show them, like that last workshop we did was a private one in Birmingham. Oh yes, and no wonder accommodation was expensive. In in the UK, while we were there, we had the cricket, we had Wimbledon, we had F1,
and then Black Sabbath.
And Black Sabbath, or it wasn't just Black Sabbath, it was a friggin' big concert.
Yeah, I know.
And we were staying that was in Birmingham, or Birmingham.
No, we weren't near where the concert was.
No, but it was Birmingham where the concert was.
Yeah, but that stadium near where we were wasn't where the concert was.
No, it was a big outside thing. But yeah, so now I know what you were complaining about, how expensive trying to find accommodation was.
And then for the first time in 7 years, I completely screwed with the accommodation. When I'm booking accommodation, the first thing I look at is the map. I always look at where we're located.
So if you were going to not stay anywhere in the world, it would be very close to the airport because there is nothing there.
And I always look on the map to make sure that we will be able to walk to restaurants so we don't have to catch Ubers.
Even better, we had to pass the train station to the international airport, go to the next train station, then catch an Uber back to that train. I don't know what you're on.
I seriously have no idea. Like I said, that's the first thing I do is I find a place, oh, this looks okay, look at the map. How did I screw that up? I was telling my mum yesterday.
Well, you did, didn't you?
I know, but I was telling my mum and she's like, well, you know, for future. And I'm like, but I've never done it before. Like, this is something that, she's like, well, you know. And I'm like, no, I know what to do. I do it every time. This is the first time I haven't. And I don't know what planet I was on when I didn't look at the map.
It was all right, Ian. Like, we ate in the hotel both nights. Didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And their fish and chips was fine the first night, so I just did that the second night. I had no problems with the hotel.
It was comfortable. The bed was comfy.
Once we were locked in. There was nowhere to go. Lots of metalheads. It's quite funny watching them all in the mornings.
It was cute.
Would have been. No, I'm kidding myself. I keep saying it would have been a good concert to go to.
But then you complain about seeing old people.
No, everybody who performed was on their pension. Sorry.
Ozzy sat down for the entire performance.
Yeah, well, he's 80 odd. Imagine his brain, all that drug, sex, and alcohol that's gone through that brain. But so many that Tool had played, and I've already seen Tool at their best. So why would I want to see them at older? Pantera, they've passed it. You had Ozzy Osbourne, even though I love that guitarist, little bits I've seen sounded amazing. Aerosmith's what's his name?
Steve Tyler.
Steve Tyler, and all the musicians that got together. Like, that's sort of cool. And
Youngblood was there.
Youngblood was there. There's lots of, I couldn't believe how many different acts. It was just a one-day thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think they had people from other bands jumping into, like, the big bands.
Yeah, the big band, yeah. So I think...
like, they just come... Like, one of the guys...
They did Whole Lot of Love from Led Zeppelin, so...
Well, like, even one of the guys from Sleep Token was there, but I think he just jumped... I think he might have been the guitarist.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was reading about that.
But I think he just played, like, a song or two with one of the bands that was, like, headlining. I don't know. Anyway, we were working. We couldn't have gone.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying... It's not a camera club. The guy who runs it, he runs just during summer some workshops. He's retired, and there's a group of people that are all interested in being better with photography and that. It was just such a good group to teach because I felt that a lot of them had been through the whole camera clubby feel and had their soul taken away from them. And we're looking for a way of...
You made someone cry.
I do that all the time. And we had a couple of females. I love it when we have female photographers come because I used to have heaps of female photographers come, but I just...
You scared them all away.
No, I think it's that whole... There used to be a lot with a certain group of female educators that got them up and running, but what they were selling was not repeatable. And that's why none of my workshops are about how to make money in photography because that's called business. It's got nothing to do with photography. Just to elaborate on that, I have a few friends who have made a lot of money out of photography. They draw Ferraris and frigging Lambos, things like that. The last thing they'd ever do is buy a new camera or new software or new lens. No, the lens we've got's fine. They don't need to update or change everything. It's all about the money. They've got a business, and it's all like... Sell. And they're very clever. It's all about business. They put out a certain standard of photography, which isn't super high, but
nice.
90% of the people out there are happy with it.
It's nice.
Like, you were happy with your wedding photos?
Yes, they were nice.
Yeah. No, but that's what I mean. That's all people looking for.
Yeah.
to go the next level up, when you go to people like Marcus Bell and some of those photographers, Yvonne, you're looking at 5 or 6 times the price for their photography, but then their photography is right. Like Yvonne and both of them are 2 favourite, because I know them personally and I've seen what they've done. They're not cookie cutters. They treat every wedding as unique, even though they'll still have a formula. They're more the type where we're going to capture what happens on the day. We don't have a formula to create what's going to happen on the day.
Yeah.
So they don't have a shot list that we have to get this shot, we have to get this shot. We're going to backlight and have water spray in the air and do all of those things. They're more, I need this shot, but then everything else in the day is up to me to be creative and wait for it to happen and capture it. And it's a little bit like your bestie. You sent her through a couple of photos for her birthday from a wedding, and what was the first thing she said?
Oh my God, did Peter take those 2 photos?
Because they're so different, right?
Yeah.
And that's all it is, and that's how Marcus and Yvonne work. It's been very clever and getting in positions to try and capture a moment, because people are so natural when they don't know you're there. Where as soon as you set up to pose, out comes camera face and it's just crap.
Whereas you got these lovely photos of me and Casey at the photo booth. We had no idea you were taking photos of us, and it's just me and her being idiots doing photo booth photos.
I think I only took 4 photos and 2 of them were really nice.
Yeah.
And then there was like Seb and Lizzie who's modelled with me a bit. I only took 2 of them, and I still haven't sent Lizzie her photo yet. But it's those things that, everything, if I had to do weddings, I would take my hat off to both of those people, even though I've never been to their workshops, but I've spoken with both of them a lot, and they've got this mentality of being really switched on to the important people in the room and finding ways of
capturing that moment.
So even with my nephew's wedding, like the shots I got of my sister and her daughter, and like they're all saying, how did you get those photos? We didn't even know you were there. And I think that's the skill of that type of photography, whereas the cookie cutter, there's a set formula and I'll give you this level, but then that's a whole new level where those other guys are. And then comes in the skill of actually capturing the day rather than create the day.
Well, it's like even you tend to, and it's like what you kind of push as well, that you don't want models doing these like set poses. You want them to just, and sometimes you get these amazing, like that photo you got of Nicole that everyone loves, where she's sitting on the stool with the saddle. She was just sitting there on her phone.
On Facebook.
Waiting for you to, and you came in and went, this looks amazing, click.
I was just doing lighting setup and I saw it and I said, don't move, click. And it was my favourite shoot from the whole, because it was, but it's also that with the girl that we did in Birmingham, like she's wanting to work with us for ages, and it's really hard that on workshops, we need to provide a model that has either come from an agency or I've worked with and know their level of what they're doing. And she'd been asking us, what, for 2 years or to shoot?
I think about a year.
About a year. She turned up, and it's not putting her down, but she has her style because that's the way the photographers have made her work. So she has this look because that's what the photographers are forcing her. And when I started shooting, I've just gone, oh my God, I could get so much better pictures by stopping you posing.
Yeah, going through your like set 10 poses.
Because the second you pose, it's not about you anymore, it's about the pose. When you're not posing, it's about you. And in all your photos I haven't seen many photos, but the photos I've seen, the eyes were lacking, but she had incredible eyes, and it didn't take me much to
pull it out.
Yeah, it took me very little to pull it out. Same with the girl in Berlin. I thought when I saw the pictures, and that was before she had her hair chopped short.
Oh, yeah.
But she had a beautiful face and she had nice eyes, but a lot of her photos were still a little bit that posy. I could not believe when we put it up on YouTube what we're doing, natural light workshops. Just a quick overview. I could not believe when we got to that spot, and I've just said eyes, and she's coming with those eyes. It's just, my God, why hasn't everyone ever captured this of you? They're so incredible.
I don't know, I guess.
But you're going to hate my next one of my next, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
What do you mean?
I don't know if to try and submit to magazines, which is a really cool shoot, but there's some really natural pictures I'm going to use, and you're going to hate me for it, but they're so real. No, shut up. No, they're real.
Terrified now.
No, don't be terrified. They're like you really smiling, you really doing stupid, dumb face, but it's no different to some of my favourite pictures of Kate Moss and people like that, where it's actually a real expression that I've seen before. Okay. Oh, you're looking petrified. I don't know. I do find it's funny more and more, and Rara would be the worst at it. She'll send me pictures. Oh, I love this. I love it. She'll like I might get 2 or 3 pictures a week. She'll send me. I love this. Just found this. Love it. And I just think if I took that of you, you'd kill me if I posted it, because it's so natural, so just free going and natural. But if we put that on you, you'd go, no, you're not posting that.
I guess the real thing is like what we were talking about with AI models and stuff. Like when it's real like that, AI can't replicate it because the AI is going to be so perfect and not real.
Yeah, I've got an AI picture I put up during the workshop in my Breaking the Photographer section. And it's amazing how everyone at first goes, oh, that's so cool. And the longer you leave it up there, the more they go, that's actually really not that good. They start to see the too perfect as making it not attractive. There's something missing. There's no soul. It's just, let's tick every box.
Yeah.
And I got really annoyed while we were in London, or in England at the end. I come up in my feed of Dolce, and I've called them Dolce Cabana now. They're just Cabana. For a company that sells, supposed to be high-end fashion, selling the highest quality, and that to now their latest ad is fully AI. So we are now not going to pay any photographers in the fashion industry, any models, any hair, any makeup, any stylists. We're not going to pay anybody. We're just going to type some words into ChatGPT. There's our next ad campaign. People should, well, I've already done it with Levi's. I've black banned them because they're using nothing but AI. You kill our industry. And once I saw one of the new movies that have come out as all AI, and I'm never going to watch it. I refuse to watch it because it's wrong. And I know you played me part of one song that was AI. It was very cookie cutter, but in the end, as soon as I know something's AI, that you are robbing true musicians, not a bit of software, I'm just going to cancel you. You're never going to get my money. You're never going to get my appreciation. I'd rather listen to some guy that's only been playing guitar for 5 years, playing on the side of the road, slightly out of key and that.
Would you rather listen to Taylor Swift?
No, because I already think she's AI. Yeah, see, this is Bec. No, I'm not going to go into it, but it's. I knew this, and I kept saying to Bec this, and I found out the truth about the songwriters who write for all these people. And all Taylor Swift has got to say is, can we put and instead of I there? And all of a sudden she's a songwriter. Collaborative songwriter. It's just her sound.
Is that like the fashion designers who buy something and say, I'll move a button?
Move a button, exactly. It's H&M, it's Zara, and I know I'm not attacking her, but she is so cookie cutter. Everything she does is cookie cutter. There's very, very, very clever people behind her doing all the marketing, the songs, the stories, everything to make money. And that's the thing. I much rather listen to a band like the new metal band, Sleep Token. Like, I'd say 10 or 15% of the songs I've heard, I love. The rest I have. But
The ones you love.
the ones I love, I absolutely love. And to me, whereas I can't say someone like Tay Tay, and I'm not attacking her, I can't say I've ever heard something I thought I like that. It always feels like it's been written to a formula. And then once I saw that documentary and realised all her songs were co-written with these two people who have co-written Coldplay. There's so many big bands have written. That's why they've got a formula and they're very good at it. I'd much rather see someone like a Dead Mouse or a Skrillex or a Fred Again, people who don't have a formula, just have a unique sound. I know as much, like even Billie Eilish, I know that there's a lot of people that crack the shits that she got the award she got. I still find that if I'm not a big fan of her personally, but I don't hear her songs so cookie cutter as other people. There seems a little bit more of a soul. But I also grew up with Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, JJ Cale, all these incredible people that had soul.
Incredible.
Oh, what are you looking at?
Seeing if there was a message about my...
Oh, it's checking if your ring's ready.
Yeah. Well, it is ready. I'm just checking if I can go pick it up. I'm about to be a wifey again.
Yeah, she's gone 5 weeks, 7 weeks without being a wife.
Rings. Well, I'm still a wife. I just haven't had
No,
my
you aren't.
rings.
Every time we're on the plane, everybody's going, your old name, not your new name. I haven't heard anyone say Mrs. Smythe.
I've started booking things.
America, you're travelling as not a Smythe.
I know.
So you're going to leave your ring at home?
No. You're bringing my rings.
I'm a bit happy. I've never been to Vegas before. I'm excited to see it for a day. I'm not really a tourist at all. I'm excited to see it for a day, but then I got more excited when we heard Dom Dollars playing.
Oh yeah,
there.
my absolute bitch of a best friend.
So we're seeing. So I'm not. So it won't be. It won't be a late night, so it won't be terrible.
It doesn't start till 10:30.
Yeah, but you'll only do 2 hours.
I guess.
He's not going to do.
I guess.
We didn't get a VIP table, did we?
We've got VIP backstage access.
Backstage, yeah, but we didn't get a table.
We're jumping the gun. So my bitch of a best friend, when we're in Vegas, I can't remember if I've said this, I sadly won't be there on the Saturday of the workshop because my best friend is coming over. We're going to this emo festival. The other day I get a message from her while I was still asleep saying, hey, can you please call me when you're awake? It's pretty urgent. And I'm like, oh, shit. I wake up to this and then she sends another message after I was getting ready and she sends another one. She's like, hey, make sure you call me before I go to bed. And I'm like, shit, like, what's going on? And she's not she never does this kind of thing. So I'm like, shit. So I call her and I'm like, hey, she's like, so I have some news. I'm like, yeah, and she's like, I'm not too sure how you're going to take this.
And P.S. Bec always looks at the worst way a conversation could go, not the best way.
I have anxiety. And she's like, I'm not too sure how you're going to take this. I'm like, yeah, okay, like spit it out. What is it? She's like, so, you know how we have that show in Vegas on the Saturday? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, God. Dom Dollar's playing on the Friday night in Vegas. I'm like, shut up. And he's like one of our favourite DJs and he's playing the night, and I'm like, oh my God. And then she just cracks up laughing. I'm like, you absolute bitch. You have me on the edge of my seat thinking you're about to deliver some horrible news.
She did.
And then she tells me that our favourite DJ is playing the night before. I'm like, you bitch. And then she cackled for like 5 minutes straight at her diet. She's like, I've been planning this for hours just waiting for you to call me. I'm like, you're so evil.
Talking about favourite DJs, I had a really nice surprise yesterday.
Oh, yes. You finally got your Dead Mouse vinyls.
My son and my daughter bought me Dead Mouse's retrospective album pack, and it was supposed to arrive February, March. It got delayed, but finally turned up. And
Yes.
I will put my vinyl on this weekend.
Yay.
I will be listening to my vinyl. So I was really happy I got that.
It's very exciting. But yes, we got
squeaky chair.
I don't think it's one of us.
Oh, the second best thing in my life has been back in my office on a comfy chair with my big screen that I can edit and see things. I hate editing on the road. I really do.
And it's really hard as well when we do, because we did heaps of shoots this trip. Like, I think more shoots.
Well, I had a look, because I was really concerned. I did have a look at the stuff I edited, and it was pretty good, but I've already gone back all 3 of them and done slight touches because I just can't see to the detail I want to see.
But it's really hard, like, when we're, like, models that we shoot with at the start of the trip, and then they're waiting 6 weeks for photos.
Sophia.
And then, but then I feel really bad because they want photos, and I can completely understand and sympathise with them, but it's just like almost near impossible for you to edit to the quality that you want to put out while we're on the road.
Well, I think I've only edited 2 or 3 pictures.
Yeah.
The Alessia one, that was easy. I hardly had to do anything about it. Like, it was like 3-4 minute editing, just straight out of the camera.
Well, she had beautiful skin and beautiful light.
And the light was just...
Yeah, so that was easy.
That was really easy. But I think the other ones were anything that we did content creating. I did a few that I haven't posted anywhere that were just very simple. That place in Milan was the lighting in that place was...
May have been uncomfortable as hell, but the lighting was great.
The lighting when we came back to London, we were staying not far from Camden. That was beautiful lighting.
No hedgehogs there though.
Oh yes, Becca's really... You're gonna have to put something. So don't make it public, but maybe send a private thing. You got me so excited about the hedgehogs. Peter and I went out on the hour, every hour, to try and find hedgehogs. We couldn't even find hedgehog poo. Couldn't find anything that said there was a hedgehog in their garden. I reckon they put it, it's like, if I had an Airbnb in Australia, I'm going to say, be careful of the koalas in the trees, the kangaroos, the wombats, and there's the odd echidna that runs up the driveway.
Before we checked in, the host was like sending all the instructions, and then she said, be careful, we have 2 hedgehogs that live in the garden, we don't want them to get stepped on or squashed. And I'm like, hedgehogs? That's so exciting. There's going to be little hedgehoggies. I didn't see a hedgehog once. I was so disappointed. I was so looking forward to seeing them. I was going to buy some lettuce or whatever the hell hedgehogs eat and feed them.
Lettuce?
I don't know what they eat. What do they eat?
Lettuce doesn't sound like a natural thing that's grown in England.
Sure it is.
They eat mushy peas.
They eat fish and chips.
Fish and chips. And bottled water.
I could have brought them a bottle of water.
Bottled water.
I didn't see a single hedgehog. I was so disappointed. Don't promise me hedgehogs and don't deliver. That's a star knocked off your rating.
You don't deduct a star.
No, I'm bullshitting. I was just excited to see the hedgehoggy.
The hedgehoggies.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're so cute.
I've never seen one in real life.
I don't think I ever have either. But it's just a little scared ball, isn't it?
Yeah. People have them as pets. I think in America.
I think they have them as torture.
Oh.
No.
Well, I didn't go to the Hedgehog Cafe in Japan because apparently they're very scared.
Of course they are. They're bottom of the food chain.
So I didn't go.
They're up there with rabbits.
I've met some pretty friendly buns.
Mm.
Oh,
We had a pet rabbit for about 8 years when I was young.
I had 2 when I was like a little kid.
That's just lived in the backyard. Dug burrows. It had full burrows in the backyard where it lived. We'd come out. We had a corgi. It used to come out and headbutt the corgi.
I had 2 when I was a kid, and they had I think they lived maybe outside. I know, but I remember they had a little playpen that we'd put them in, and they were in there one day. It was pretty large, so they could run and stuff. And then Dad had been out doing the gardening, and he went and put weed Roundup on all the weeds to kill all the weeds. And then one of the bunnies chewed through the pen and got out and saw the weed and went up and ate the weed that had just been poisoned and died.
I wouldn't have thought that. No, Roundup isn't a poison for humans and things.
Well, it's not a human, it's a rabbit.
Yeah, but
it's a tiny little
it's not
thing.
a pesticide. It's a.
Well, aren't rabbits pests?
No, but it's not a pesticide.
Well, maybe it wasn't Roundup. It was some kind of weed killer that he put on there, and then the rabbit.
It's most likely rabbit killer. Your dad most likely got fed up with the rabbits. And
no, only one of them ate it.
Did you have rabbit stew that night?
No, we didn't.
You sure? Do you have chicken? It didn't quite taste like chicken.
They told me that he died, and then they gave the other one away, and then they told me that she ran away. They told me this for years, and then I think when I was like 11, we were sitting around the table having dinner, and something got brought up about, oh yeah, we gave that one away, didn't we? And I'm like, you gave my entire life you've lied to me. You told me my second rabbit ran away.
Yeah, but you had a cat and a mouse and let the cat kill the mouse.
I didn't let it.
Yes, you did. You're the owner of the cat.
I didn't let it.
Let it.
Bec and her pets over the years.
Bec and her pets.
Had terrapins at one point.
Yeah, my sister used to have some terrapins. They're easily killed.
Mine were fine. We kept them until we left Saudi, and then there was a compound that had like a whole big turtle pond with different turtles and terrapins and stuff, so we donated them to there to live a happy little life with their other little turtley friends.
Turtley friends. Oh my God.
What?
We had a turtle. I used to have a tiny little pond in my front deck area in the waterfall. All of a sudden one day there was a turtle this big in there. Mm. It had a hole in the back of its shell. So I used to do that and put a chain so they couldn't get away, but...
That's barbaric.
Well, I didn't do it.
It's horrible.
It obviously got away from its chain.
Oh my God. Anyway, we're rambling.
Yes, I was going to ramble some more. So we're always talking about food, movies, things like that. I thought I'd talk about some movies. Final Destination, the new one. Mm. I watched it with Bec and I watched it again with my wife. Yeah, I rate it. I think it's up there with the first. Because
2.
It's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's up there with there because it's not predictable. They did it very clever. And the storyline...
Storyline was good.
Very clever. At the start, it wasn't like the first 10 minutes as it felt a little bit CGI-y, but then I realised that was just setting the story. And then once the story was set...
So I haven't told you, Jared did play up on me while we were gone.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh. Well, so he's still married?
Yes.
Oh,
we might have to go to some counselling. No, he's going to make up for it on the weekend. But he went to the movies and saw the new 28 Years Later without me.
Oh, he's dead.
3 of the boys were going and they were like, oh, we're going to go see the new 28 Years Later. Do you want to come? And he's like, oh, shit, I think Bec wants to see that. Yeah, I'll come with you. I'm like, and he's like, no, I'm happy to go again. It was really good. We could go see it this weekend. I'm like, he went and watched it with that. But he said it was really good.
We also watched, what was that? Monkey?
The Monkey.
The Monkey.
Yeah, it's just called The Monkey.
Was that the one I had?
Yeah.
Right.
You watched that with Sheree as well?
No, I haven't. That might be tonight.
Yeah, no, that was good as well.
That was good. I made Bec watch a war movie.
I actually quite liked that. It was very raw.
I know. I think I'd like.
Like
really,
I didn't
really
like it, but I was sucked into it.
the story.
It was.
That's why I'd love for you to watch American Sniper, American Sniper, American Assassin. The one I watch it on the plane.
It's not really my jam.
No, it's not. That's the reason for the story. The story is not that.
Well,
Does
this
that make
war
sense?
one's called Warfare. It's
Warfare.
really, there's not really much story, there's not really much dialogue. It's just really raw and real brutal and real.
It's what war would be like.
Yeah, it's really, really
People
harsh.
with power who sit in their offices just go, oh yeah, you go there, and
Yeah, it was
bad luck,
really-
live with it.
It was a hard watch.
Yeah, I think it's American Sniper. I watched it on the flight over to UK, and I can't help it. Towards the end,
You cried.
it affects me because it goes from a movie to real. So the footage is movie, and then all of a sudden the footage is real. It's really what happened, and that affected me a lot. But there's another movie. What was that? In the cornfields.
Clown in the
Clown in the cornfield.
cow.
That was like.
I
thought
it was
I was going to
cheesy.
hate that, but
was
actually, really,
cheesy.
it was a typical
Typical slasher.
Like. I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it still.
Yeah, and Smile 2. Because Smile 1, I was really disappointed with. Smile 2,
I liked that.
I did. I was surprised, but they went a completely different.
Yeah, they went a different
line. I thought it worked so much better.
Me too. I liked that. Woman in the Yard I didn't like.
Well, I didn't watch it.
I liked Speak No Evil.
Yeah, I'd seen that before, and I did.
That
like
was a good
it.
movie.
And
Sorry, as you can tell, I mostly only watch dark horror movies. It's just my thing.
now, what else? What else did we watch in the
Jennifer's Body
Jennifer's Body?
with Megan Fox.
If she didn't have a good body, it would be a crap movie. What else did we watch? I thought there's another
We
one.
had lots of film movie nights.
There's another movie we watched, and I thought I was surprised that you liked it, but I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to definitely 28 years later because I've seen a fair bit. I'm dying to see the iPhone footage, and I know what it's going to be like. At the moment, I am doing the band. I need to do 4 music videos, and I've got to do them within a week. And I'm doing it. I'm not charging the band anything. It's Anna Band.
It's just called Anna, it's not called Anna Band.
If you've got to look it up, it has to be Anna Band.
Okay, anyway, continue.
I can't charge them because they don't have any money. And
And they're friends.
And no, Anna's like, they're friends. But at the same time is if I'm going to do anything, even if it's not being paid for, I'm using it to show the world of what I can actually do. And I've already said to Anna and Josh, her husband, some of my ideas, and they've just gone like, sick. This is like, they went, how do you think of this shit? But I need to have that conversation with them now is how do I think like that? But you can't just turn up with your own styling that's not going to match my story. So stop sending me pictures of the dresses you're going to wear. Stop sending me no, if I'm going to do it for nothing, these 4 songs will take I've worked out about 5 weeks of my time. It will take so much of my time for the editing.
Because you're going to do it your way.
I'm doing it my way so I can show the world what I can do and I've gone very, very hard with doing things my way. And that 28 years later, when I watch, there's a little documentary on the making, and it's gone, shit, yeah. I've just gone, this is genius. And in the future, if we're going to create incredible things, we need to use the incredible footage, which is not AI, the incredible gear that we have at our fingertips, which is not AI, to create these surreal bits of footage we could never create any other way. I'm not going to go into what I'm going to do because it'll be a surprise when I do it. But yeah, literally, I haven't even heard the songs. She sent me 2, I haven't even heard them, haven't read the lyrics, but I've already come up with my 2 of the ideas completely finished, how I'm going to film it. And now I've got to go back to her saying, no, this is the styling for this. Well, I think I should be allowed, if I'm putting what I would normally charge between $20,000 and $60,000,
Yeah.
I should have total say.
I agree.
Or they can pay me $20,000 or $60,000. I'm not a greedy person. 25 will do. And you spent.
No.
Oh, you just went, Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh, no, I think it's completely fair enough. And you told me your ideas before, and even I was like, that's so cool. And
Well, some of the other ideas which I won't be running with because they won't have the budget. I wanted to do the complete video with them, just somewhere that had a really cool area, but the band is just out, like on a beach or in the bush, just somewhere, and the whole thing's filmed with drones, and every band member has a drone sitting filming them, and that drone is just following them, and all of them, but then there's a far shot of all the drones filming each of the band. Someone steals it, you owe me. But I just thought, no, well, number one, I need to find 5 drone operators who are good enough to do the vision I want.
Yeah.
I know there's something set to tracking, but again, because they don't have the money to do it, I've come up with ideas of ways of doing this really cool, different stuff that I can just do it all on my own if I have to. I don't need any crew.
You've always got me.
I know, but I'm trying to set it so I don't have to. So anything else other than that will be a bonus. This is
It's just a really creaky chair.
Why am I sitting on?
I don't know.
Creepy.
Creepy. Creaky.
Creepy. What was the other movies we were talking about?
I don't know.
Cornfield? Clown?
Yeah, we've already spoken about it. It was
about
like clown in the cornfields.
Right. No, I didn't know if we actually mentioned the name. The ones we watched on the plane.
No, I can't think of the other ones that we watched on the plane.
I thought there was another movie that we watched on our movie nights.
Can't think. We had lots of movie nights. I've been really liking our movie nights that we have. I don't want that to sound like creepy or anything. I like it because Peter is such a workaholic that, I don't know, because when we travel, we do get so burnt out with the travel and the workshops and shoots and everything. And then I see Peter sitting at the laptop in an uncomfortable chair until, well, I'd probably leave at like 11 p.m. to go to bed, and then you're still sitting up, and then the next day you're like, oh, I didn't get to bed until 1 a.m. I'm like, so for him to see him actually get off the uncomfy chair, sit on his bed.
Couch.
Peter normally.
If we're in a hotel,
yeah,
but if we're in an Airbnb, we're normally in the lounge.
Yeah, but in the last place we were in, Peter was sitting on his bed. I sit on the couch, And just for him to take a load off and just relax and watch a movie and chill, I'm like, you really need
Isn't
that?
taking a load off going to the toilet?
No.
That was a really bad word. Take a load off. Peter dumped a load on his bed next to me on the chair.
I just like to see you actually.
What was it? We were watching one movie and you were sitting in a chair. I was on the bed in the hotel room. You go, I'm getting in bed with you. Shut up. It wasn't in the bed. It was on top of the bed. I can't even remember what movie we were watching.
Don't know. No, but that sounds gross. What are you saying?
No, I wasn't in the bed either.
Oh my God.
That was before you asked me to pat your belly.
No, you were missing Gidget. You were talking about rubbing Gidget's belly. No, I just enjoy you actually seeing relaxing rather than burning yourself out even further. And it was so different to when I introduced you to comfy pants, because you would sit up all night wearing your jeans, and I get changed.
And still runners.
And in jeans and runners until you go to bed, whereas I get, the second we get back from dinner, I get changed straight into my PJ pants.
When I did physical work, I would always get home from work, go have a shower, then get into a pair of trackies, a T-shirt, and some just comfy slippers or something. But then all of a sudden I stopped doing that.
And and I told you how much more comfortable you would be, and now you bring your Quanny jammies with you.
Well, we get all these free clothing now from Qantas.
So you have your...
And Emirates, thank you.
You have your free clothing.
Well, I think the other thing is
pajamas.
because trackie dacks and some of the pants I owned, like thermal trackie dacks and that from Colombia, they too heavy. They're not like.
But the Qantas ones are nice and light.
They're
and
so
thin.
light. I really enjoyed them. I was very happy.
They're lightweight.
In fact, that was the best thing about our flight back was as soon as we got on the flight, they give them to you so you can race straight to the toilet, get changed, put your mattress on your friggin' bed and sit back. Oh yeah, sorry. I felt really sorry for this girl. Obviously, her dad was in business class and she was in
Premium economy.
premium. And it was sort of like, they're going, oh, yeah, Dad. It's all right for you. It says so.
And he was putting his stuff up and she was walking further down to premium and he's like, I'll come down and see you. She's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, there was someone in business who upgraded the first. Oh.
Why wasn't it me?
Because you already stole my upgrade. I could have done an upgrade. And left you there. Well, they kept sending me emails saying, give me a point, you'll get upgraded.
A point.
A point.
You would have. I'm surprised you didn't, just to smite me.
To smite you, to smite you. No, I wouldn't do that. It'd be bored, at least. We normally, back when she does her job properly, we're normally in the middle, so with a screen that goes up when Beck's giving me the shits, and when we want to talk, we can drop the screen down. And then, that one of the flights on the Emirates, she tried to footsie me.
When?
You were sticking your foot through and rubbing my leg with your foot.
I don't think I would have.
I think you were.
I don't.
I told you, remember? Oh, that was more than a week ago. Anyway. It's quite handy. And then if she's snoring or something, I can just take some video of it.
You were snoring. I didn't take any video of you. I just giggled at you doing it.
Yeah, well, that was me laying on my back. I fell asleep on my back. I did get a really good sleep on our first.
So did I. I slept for most of that flight.
Yeah, so I really. But then I couldn't get sleep on one on the second. I watched 2 movies on the second.
Yes.
I did enjoy. What was the movie called?
Which one?
The one that you accused me of. It's in.
Oh, Parasite.
Parasite. It's in Vietnamese. Korean, and you're not even watching the screen. How do you know what's going on? I've already seen it, but
I didn't know you'd already seen it. It's a really good movie.
It is a really good.
I think the year it came out, it won the award for Movie of the Year. It's a really good movie, but I didn't know you'd already seen it. And
Well, I didn't.
I look over.
The name looked familiar, but the actual picture at the start didn't. So as soon as it started, I go, I've seen this. And then when the guy pissed outside their window where they were living, I know I've seen this. And then once I hooked in, oh yeah, this was a really. And I didn't need to hear what they were saying. I already knew the story.
I know, it was just fun. I didn't know you'd already seen it, and I look over and saw, and I was like, oh, he's watching Parasite. That's a really good movie. And then I looked down, and you're sitting there playing your stupid game on your phone, and I'm like, you don't speak Korean, and you're not reading this English subtitles.
Yeah, I was just getting through the boring bits. And it was just a boring part that I already knew the story.
But
I was
didn't
waiting
know.
for the rest of the families to be all employed by the same person.
I didn't know you already knew the story, so that's why I just thought it was funny. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I did. We had landed before it finished, but I really did enjoy the stuff with the family hiding under a couch and then talking about them above the couch. And it's just like...
It's a really good movie if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Oh, also, the flight we got back from London, we got this new non-stop London to Sydney. That's not non-stop. We had a 2-hour break in Singapore.
No, it wasn't 2 hour. It was less than 2 hour. It's only only an hour. We only had 40 minutes to lounge.
That's not non-stop. We got off the plane.
No, I said that to you.
No, but they market it as non-stop.
Yeah, but you were complaining that, for 20 hours straight. I said, well, the other way we flew to Dubai, we pretty much got off one plane. We didn't even go to the lounge. We got off one plane straight onto the
delayed.
next. Yeah, so that was the same length of time and you were complaining.
No, but
at least Emirates have a bar that you can go down and...
I was more saying, no, I'm just saying that don't market it as it's a non-stop flight when it's not a non-stop flight.
Yeah, because you still have to carry everything off.
Yeah.
You have to go back through security, even though you've moved from one gate to the gate next to it.
So that's not
That
a
was
non-stop...
weird.
I know, so it's not a non-stop flight. Don't market it as a non-stop flight when it's not. I don't know, it's just a little pet peeve of mine, of false advertising.
There is a non-stop flight
To
from
Perth.
New Zealand to New York. We can't do Australia, New York, and there's one from Perth to London.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one from Darwin to London? Because Perth did some stupid thing with COVID, and Qantas said, up yours, Perth. And
I don't know.
I still don't like that. It wasn't a non-stop for us, it was a two-stop for us, because I still don't like the land in Sydney, pick up your stuff in customs, go through transfer, check all your stuff back in, go back. That's annoying.
Yeah.
So that added like 3 or 4 hours to our trip. Although their brekkie was nice. The brekkie was nicer than what we got on the plane.
Brekkie was good.
But we're on Australia land. So we had Australia food. So the Marmite thing, was that the episode we didn't publish?
Oh, Marmite's not okay.
Shree was so happy I brought back a jar of Marmite. She was.
Well, she would because she's English.
Yes.
No, we ran out of Vegemite. We normally travel with a jar of Vegemite because we are dumb Australians. And Peter didn't check to see how much was in the jar, so there wasn't enough. We ran out. And we got back to the UK. Peter goes out and buys Marmite. And I got up and I see it and I'm like, you bought Marmite. That is un-Australian. You're a traitor. You are a traitor. And then I tried some. The consistency is like honey.
Yeah, but once it's on a crumpet, it's not like honey anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No, and the taste is not the same.
Well, Shree was all excited though.
Well, I'm glad that Sheree liked it. I did not.
Well, she hasn't eaten it yet. She just thinks she likes it.
No, un-Australian.
Un-Australian.
I had some nice toast with butter and Vegemite this morning, and I had some yesterday. And I had a sausage roll yesterday.
I made my own crumpets yesterday. A bit of a disaster. They tasted good, but they didn't quite work.
I had a kebab last night.
Did it have curry in it?
No, and I was telling Jared as we were eating them, I was like...
Well, it was only Germany that...
I know, but that's supposedly like the home of kebabs
No, Germany's not. Kebab's Middle Eastern.
I know, but in Europe, apparently, like...
So you got kebabs and you got souvlaki's. That's
Souvlaki's Greek.
Greek.
No, but in Berlin...
So where does Germany... No, Germany doesn't come into kebab.
No,
or
apparently
souvlaki.
a lot of Middle Eastern people moved into... And they introduced
Yeah, but they
it.
they didn't go via India and add curry.
I don't know, but...
They were horrible.
That's just... I know. And I was telling Jared, because last night we had our kebabs from our kebab place, and I was like, oh,
the one that you cancelled, are you going back again?
No, they're a little bit hit and miss, but most of the time they're pretty hit. Sometimes they're a bit... Last night wasn't the greatest, but still it was good. Anyway,
I think we've had one hit and two misses, and we haven't been back.
No, because you go to the Croydon one, I go to the Ringwood one.
You never take me to the Ringwood one.
Yeah, because it's too far from here. Anyway, I was eating it and I was like, oh my God, I've been hanging out for this.
Maybe our Japanese place is open.
Stop interrupting me.
So we've cancelled every other food place around here. Is it opened yet?
I don't know, I haven't looked.
All right, keep going your kebabs.
I told Jared as we were eating our delicious kebabs last night that we had a kebab in Berlin, and I was like, and the meat, like the flavour of it, it's like they infuse it with like curry, and he's like, I like curry, but those two flavours don't go together. I'm like, right? And then I was like, and then they put like sauteed vegetables, like sauteed like carrots and like potatoes, but not like when we go to the Greek place and they put chips. It's like, he's like, what do you, and I'm like, it's just like cooked potato. And he's like, no. And I was like, and then they have like mint in it, like in the garlic sauce, it has mint in it. And he's like, no, because he hates mint. And look, he was very appalled.
Appalled.
But then he continued to enjoy his, and I enjoyed mine. Tonight I'm going to finally cook though. I'm going to cook Swedish meatballs.
So you've been home how many? Two nights?
I had sleep for dinner the first one.
I cooked incredible steak.
I had incredible sleep.
So my wife and I cut up 3 steaks. So I knew one I was going to eat cold. So love. My steaks a day later, cold, sliced up on toast is like the best.
Yuck. But anyway.
Then Shri, my wife, who is a chef, and she had an apprenticeship with some of the biggest chefs in Australia. So she's teasing me with all this stuff she's going to make me last night, and all she did was friggin' Silverside or what?
Corned beef.
Corned beef, but it wasn't even proper corned beef. It was like man-made log.
Ew.
Shri, come on, you're a chef. It's like, I do like nice corned beef, but this is in a log. It didn't have the corned beef texture. It was more like compressed ham texture.
Gross.
Yeah, it was gross. I didn't tell her, didn't want to upset her. But I might cook tonight. I might do smash burgers tonight.
I'm going to do Swedish meatballs tonight. Because nothing says I just got home from Sweden, like, let's have some Swedish meatballs.
I ate Swedish meatballs every night bar one. Even bought them from the supermarket and cooked them.
They were really
I still think that chicken Kiev that I did, was it Kiev? No, what was that chicken I did for you in the last time I cooked in?
Me.
We gave up.
Yeah, we gave up. That was in London. Yeah, that was really good.
We went out twice and couldn't stand what we eat.
No offence, guys.
No offence, but there was no pot plants for us to throw the food. We had to go, oh, didn't you like it? Twice.
But no, that Kiev was really nice. I really enjoyed that. And
it was just from a supermarket. And I did myself chicken thigh burgers, and they were really nice.
I'm going to make some balls tonight.
I am going to look up the recipe for the shrimp on toast.
Oh, I can't pronounce it. The Swedish shrimp on toast was
definitely.
So good.
I want to do that this weekend. I'm going to do pizzas on Sunday night.
So I have pizza Monday when I see Gidget again.
Well, now with the new recipe, the pizza lasts 3 days in the fridge, so...
That's exciting.
Yes. Are you looking at times?
Yes.
Have we hit the time yet?
We have.
We have.
We've gone over the time.
We've gone over the time.
Yes.
I suppose you've got to go over and pick up your...
Well,
be married again.
She still hasn't told me that I can pick it up. She said it's ready, but I said, well, can I call in and get it? And she hasn't replied to me saying yes.
Oh. Maybe they're shut.
No.
Maybe they want the world to think you're still single.
I'm not single.
A singleton.
I'm not a singleton.
Anyway.
Anyways, we'll be here again next week. We'll be in Melbourne.
We're in Australia again next week.
Yeah, for a little while. So
For a little whiles.
have a awesome week, and
Sorry for a bit flat when we're overseas and a bit negative. It just
as you can see, we've
get a bit
perked right up
tired.
again.
But we should be perkies again back in Melbourne,
Yes.
even though it's winter.
I'll just be rubbed up with my blanket.
I'll bring Gidget.
Yay.
All right.
Excitement. Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you again next week.
Catch ya.
Bye.